The blotter bunch all live in one fucked up house, and there ain't nothing in the fridge but some sauerkraut. And we got some gasoline, but good lord, it's foul. If you wanna catch a lift, come here and snort this now.
Welcome to Blunt Raps, the first official podcast episode from the Blotter Bunch, and then Jay, the Lost Prophet.
What's up? How y'all doing on this? What is it? Sunday?
Is it? Yes, today's Sunday. July 22nd.
Yeah.
And I know that because last night I saw Hobo Johnson.
Yes.
At Cervantes, and we talked about this yesterday, but Hobo Johnson at Cervantes was amazing. Okay, they had this girl open up called Ashe, or Ashe with the E at the end, A-S-H-E. Ashe, and there goes my phone at the beginning. Can you hear me? I got it. Hold up. Let's see what we got on here. No, I'm gonna have to decline that. We're gonna have to decline that call. Anyway, continuing on. They had Ashe open up, and she was amazing. She carried on a whole hour set with nothing but her and a piano. It was amazing. No drums, no
her
beats.
And the instrument doing what they do best.
Just her and the instrument. It was crazy
the window to the soul, man.
At first I was like, well, they definitely have a drummer. Like, if I was the drummer of the Love Makers, Hobo Johnson Love Makers, I'd just go out there and give her a little beat.
Thing.
But then after watching it, I was like, no, like that, like that's definitely a choice. Sure. Like she definitely made that choice to be like, no, I just want to be up there, just kicking it. That was amazing to see. I'm definitely gonna look up her stuff, and let me get this going too. Blunt Raps, of course. We roll a blunt, smoke a blunt, and talk about whatever the fuck we want. Usually music, because we're both producers. We're rappers. Blunter Bunch, Jay the Lost Prophet, Nod Squad.
We got JD Con stuff coming up, man. I got album stuff. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on.
I want to talk about Nod Squad in a second.
We got a lot of stuff going on.
For sure. So just to wrap it up, so Hobo Johnson last night, after Ashe went on, Hobo Johnson came out, and people knew all her words too. They were chanted, and they were lit, bro. They were lit about her. They were like singing all her words, but then even the songs they didn't know after every song, like we were cheering. Everyone was cheering, and she started crying at one point. She was like, "I'm gonna cry." Like she said, we they've been all around the country. They went to New York. They went everywhere. Like, this is,
So she's not crying all the time.
No, she said, she was like, this is the most intense crowd we've had, which I've heard other people say that about Colorado. Colorado gets
it's best.
Real lit. So she almost started crying. Like, she finished out her thing. She was real, like, we cheered so loud for her. And that was before Hobo Johnson came out. And then Hobo came out with the crew, and they killed it. Like, whatever they're doing is insane. They have it's like some parts of it just remind me of I don't know, like Blink 182, like type of, they just come in like with their drops. Like, he always cues it. He's like, God, and then they'll come in, but the drummer guy comes in, like, it's so rad. It's so rad to see what they're doing. It's so crazy too. I went there and enjoyed that. That was really nice. What else can I say about the show? Because there was so much.
Sold out, right?
It was completely sold out, and the whole crowd is singing "Peach Scones," which is his most popular, song. That won that Tiny Desk contest.
Oh yeah,
that shit was amazing, video. And everyone in the crowd was singing the words. Everyone was like, it was magical. He said he felt lightheaded because it was the altitude change and all that.
People don't understand. They always underestimate the altitude that we're out here. It's in a different environment. You have to really got to be able to get used to that.
He said that they were driving in on the van. He woke up in the middle of the night and felt like he felt like he couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
It was a real intimate show. It was awesome. Next time he comes around, I want to see him in the main room. He was on the other side.
Yeah, if you get that set up to that ballroom, it's
but I mean, that's just a year away. I mean, this all started so crazy fast. Like, they pretty much just had to get him on the road. And I like how it's like what we were talking about earlier. Like, back in the day, like, say they found this talent, like, the music companies would just eat them up. There's like a 4 to 5 year, maybe 7 year arc for like a really good
most
band.
People start having issues on their fourth album.
Yeah, exactly,
so right. Fall off.
So there's like an arc, and the record companies like that, they knew this, and this is what they used to do, and they would just milk these artists for everything they had, except the Beatles. The Beatles went on and on.
They did their thing for a while.
Yeah, exactly. But they're an anomaly. But
them and Drake. Drake is kind of milking everyone else. Too,
so that's what I'm on. But as far as like Rolling Stones, you know what I mean? All these artists that were, this is how they used to do it, just getting milked for the Smashing Pumpkins, just getting milked for those 4 or 5 years until the whole band goes insane, until everyone is having issues with each other, until they split up inevitably. Like that's how it used to go. Now I like it. So like I was saying, like Hobo had to get on the road because he blew up. Well, what do you do when you blow the fuck up? You have a video that goes, so of course, you know, but the way they're doing it is so nice. You could tell that they're healthy on the road. You could tell they didn't show up in Denver and didn't just start smoking down. Like the way I saw them on stage, they were like, you could tell they were practicing all day, or they were like sitting, they were getting, you know, in their zone. And I after the show, I could see them just going to sleep, you know, not really partying. Yeah. And what I was saying is it's their first year. This could change. Right. You know, 2 years, 3 years. Hopefully, he can keep it going like he is now.
Yeah, because as long as they're able to hold on to the momentum and make some good, smart strides, exactly like you were saying, you know, continue working on things.
Continue working,
and, have some music happening, like, oh, yeah, you were asking me
if I thought maybe, you know, after this whole blow up, he's touring, he's doing a world.
Especially because in a viral world right now, we're so used to these consumables that come through, and then they're huge, we're all talking about it, and
done. So he's doing a European tour, so I hope he does well. So I think, as long as he's they're touring, he presented 2 new songs last night. I think as long as he's bringing in new content, I don't think he necessarily needs to keep blowing up and keep with the stride of his viral videos. I think they're going in a great path. Their whole theme is like emotional. Like they're letting it all out. They're Ashe and him. They're fucking real intimate. And I think as long as he keeps doing that, making new songs and growing, eventually he'll just have a fan base that he could live off of. I mean, nowadays it's kind of dumb to really want to be that like Rolling Stone, like really the whole point is to create a good fan base and, you know, kind of just have them support you when they come to town. They're like, oh, like I know, you know, the Blotter Bunch is coming into town. Let's go check them out. This is, you know, I don't know if the whole old model is really working out, and I think a lot of artists are starting to see that now. We're just trying to make careers. Wouldn't that be awesome just to live off it? I mean,
did you hear about the big I wouldn't call it exactly a scandal, but a big scandal that I think it was like Spotify had with this like indie local band?
No.
So it was some band. I can't remember their name. I can't remember where the fuck they were. This was a couple of years ago. Like 2 or 3 years ago. But they released a bunch of stuff that kind of same thing like Hobo Johnson started kind of blowing up. Well, in addition to creating the album that they launched when they were touring, they released a second one. Well, this second one was an entirely silent album. It was like, I don't know, 12, 20 songs, something like that. So, you know, people could just play it and just be constantly supporting these artists and they wouldn't have to worry about any sound. That way they can get the money from like the royalties and everything like that. So like legitly in concert, they had these motherfuckers like, okay guys, like go up to this album, whatever, this is blah blah blah, we're gonna play this, that way we can, fuck the system kind of bullshit. They were able to scam it out and get like a ton of like monetaries from it and everything too.
Wait, hold on.
They had a silent album. Okay. That way, when you hit play, nothing came out. But that way, you could always listen to it. And in Spotify, like the streaming eyes, you're going through all these songs. They're like, oh, people are listening. They're going through, if there's ads, they're ads, whatever. But then they're getting paid off these audio listenings.
Hold on. So these motherfuckers made a silent album with
a fucking silent album. They were going on tour. They had people. Everyone there was playing their silent album. And just racking. I mean, if you guys remember 20 people right there listening to that, you know what I mean?
Everyone there was
they had a whole following. It made a difference. It was huge too. Like,
but they were playing.
Ended up being the whole thing. Yeah, a silent album.
So wait, at their concerts they weren't playing like they were playing music.
Yeah. So on stage they weren't just like, oh yeah, we're dragonflies and here's our new song. It wasn't
they weren't doing that.
They were actually, they had their song playing, but everyone who was participating, they had this silent album going. That way, while they were at the concert, giving them money, supporting them money, buying their actual albums. They didn't have the silent one for sale, as far as I know.
Yeah, that was just all for streams.
Exactly. So they can
so Spotify paid them out, and then found out.
And then later there was an issue. I don't know if it ever went to court, or if it like kind of settled out, or if anything really came of it, but they definitely, And there's people actually too. I was reading a thing. Amazon has this kind of thing. Here, I'm gonna pass this.
Amazon's a crazy deal too. Just with Amazon's huge now. Like,
well, check it out. So they have this service where it's basically like Spotify, but for like books and stuff like that. And it used to be like if you finished a book, something like that, then you would get so much money. It wasn't exactly royalty, but it was kind of sort of like that. And so in response, people started pumping out like these real short books. So they're like, oh, if I get so much money every time someone completes a book, like, I'll have them like real big, followings, whatever, it's like real small type, whatever, and get it through. Well, then they're like, okay, they changed up a couple of the ways, like how, payment works, how other things happen. And they're like, okay, well, now you get paid for every page. It's a little bit lower, but it ends up being worth it for every page that they read. So then they started having them in like these huge fonts and stuff like that. Like most of them are these like romantic kind of books and stuff like that too. So they sort of big letters, or like that we had to like read a little bit more, or they would re-release the first book, but have a second update with it, with some extra stuff, or like clippings for like a new book, stuff like that, to get people to go back to a book they already read, reread all of it, and then you had to go all the way to the to the thing, or alternatively, offer some exclusive stuff at the very end. But they had a directory at the beginning, so you could skip right to that stuff. But when you skip all the way to that stuff, it counts as more fucking pages read, man. So they're skipping through.
So these companies just coming up with these ideas that they want you to.
People are working around them, man. I don't know, and I think that's totally insane. Like, people will find a way to make the fucking system work. You know what I mean?
That is totally insane.
Yeah. Stuff's not the same anymore. You used to be able to go buy a book, and then that was all the money right there.
They are. Now both of them are recording.
Perfect.
Yes. That is insane.
Yeah.
So the companies come up with these rules and regulations, and then everyone else tries to dupe them, and then they come back with more rules and regulations, and then it goes back and forth and back.
The internet has like a lot of rebellion like that too. Like you see it a lot on social media.
Yeah.
Especially with in regards to like Facebook or whatever, and they're like so point war against memes.
Yeah.
Now, like, because they're trying to pull all these videos and really get their video site going as soon as the future. So now memes are having like these weird triangle planes flying around, or they'll chop them in half, or put them in like different videos and shit like that.
This I did hear about. Yeah. So Facebook,
dumber and dumber,
that is so dumb.
I don't know.
That is so dumb. I have seen that on Facebook.
You need to bring MySpace back. Go to the internet graveyard and just hello.
Bring back fucking MySpace.
Because MySpace had creativity. You could do whatever the fuck you want to set a playlist. You had to stickers, like
customize it.
Everything.
Customization is dead.
1990s.
Okay, that's when remember the 90s, bro. Customization.
A little bit. I was born in 94, so.
Fuck you then. Yeah. I'm quitting this interview right now. No, I was born in 90. But no, so fucking, you know what? Actually, that's so true too. Is fucking let me take that back.
Is more like
you're right. Let me say from like fucking late 90s to fucking mid 2000, maybe to like 2005.
Then it was probably already, because it was just getting pumped full of creativity.
I'd say till 2005. This is why I say till 2005, because in 2005 you could still get those cell phones, the flip phones. And remember when you used to get a flip phone, or at least when I used to get a flip phone, like the first thing you would do is spend a whole 2-3 days customizing it.
Yeah.
And that was still like 2004, 2005.
That was my favorite song, recording it. Like,
until the iPhone came out in 2005. So
changed the fucking game.
Around that time. But so everything was customizable. Like everyone would have their own, like everything. I remember everything you would get was customizable.
Even colors. Clothing was very popular.
Game Boys would come in a bunch of different colors. This is all pre iPod, all pre. I mean, iPods were a thing, but all pre when Apple and iPhones really blew up. That's when the age of like you only get one color.
Right.
You only get white. You only get black, you only get gray. And then Samsung followed suit. You can really only get a black, you know what I'm saying? You can't, like,
you get all of them. Like, and the ones that you do that do allow modification, they're crazy-ass modifications that most people would never need in the first place. And they're
back in the day, the fucking, I remember everything being, like, so colorful. There was a bunch of colors. And when,
bland.
a bunch of shit, and now everything is just like 3 colors, just black, white, gray, and it's sleek, but everything is it's a lot different.
Well,
So
crazy colors aren't even in anymore, man. Like everything that's coming out is like the maybe tarnished kind of color. You know, it's not like bright stuff. It's a little more dull. It's
like
very beautiful.
Like the new hipster look.
Yeah,
the perfect hipster look is like dull. Yeah, like fall dull kind of. Yeah, that's so true. There's no more like colorful ass clothes. We used to have colorful ketchup. We used to have colorful fucking straws. Like I mean, it was like advertised. But you saw commercials in the fucking late 90s or the early 2000s. It was like fucking everything was like customization is dead, I think.
Even Legos have changed up too. Like,
dude, even when you get like a Mac, like when you get this Mac, I love it, but really it's so basic. Like I went through and customized it like I have my pop-up screen on the right side, but really like they took that all the way back in the day when you would get a computer, like you would sit there and customize the back screen.
PC can do so a lot of that. They kept on.
Yeah, and I mean,
and that's kind of the thing.
It's kind of, but what I'm saying is they're not advertising. They don't advertise it as much.
They definitely were when they first came out with shit. The whole thing for Apple was the fact that you could change the text. You know what I mean? Like the style and shit
all
like that.
Dude. Yes, customization is dead.
And originality is kind of dying off too.
I think it's starting to come back a little bit. I think I like the scene nowadays. Cervantes is hella dope. So yeah, I went to Cervantes last night for Hobo Johnson. I'm going to be going there again. I go there pretty much every Wednesday for the Research Wednesdays. The Research Wednesdays are fucking dope. They always have great people, and they're packed. Every Wednesday at Cervantes is hella packed. It's dope as shit. There's something else we wanted to talk about. Nod Squad. Fucking yo bitch, raw dog, disappear like ta-da. Nod Squad. Now we talked a little bit about this yesterday.
We actually just dropped an album too.
Yeah, okay, so y'all dropped an album.
Immaculately Stoned. It's on SoundCloud. We got a music video up on YouTube right now. The Incredibles. Got Kingpin Kobe and fucking Fader James. Fader James filmed the whole thing, directed it. Bro, they just drove around Denver everywhere. Cool
dope ass spots of graffiti in the city. That music video was really impressive.
Cool. Yeah,
it was really dope. I liked everything about it.
Yeah.
King Kobe, met him at Clancy's Irish Pub. Shout out to Clancy's. Shout out to Dan.
Dan the motherfucking man. Devil Be Merciful Entertainment.
That's right. And he set up a bunch of shows at Clancy's Irish Pub. We went and played a bunch. That's where I saw King Kobe wearing that Arrowwood shirt. Called him out on it in a freestyle. Got the Arrowwood shirt. Found out about y'all and Nod Squad. That shit is rad as shit. The music video just dropped. Inspired moi to get together with the crew and be like, yo, look what the homies just did. Let's fucking get on our game, which is what we're doing. We're already starting. You're going to help us out, get some footage for a music video. We already have ideas for 3, because that's how shit works. Just like fucking, but we're gonna take our time on that. We have a bunch of shit coming out on Blotter Bunch side too. We got fucking music videos we're working on. We just got confirmed for August 31st at Cervantes. It's a Friday night, opening up for Homemade Spaceship. Gerard might come by and spit a rap, except for it's your mom's birthday.
And my grandma's
mom
birthday.
And grandma's birthday. So
Amanda had a mom on her birthday.
Most likely he won't make it, but he will make it to a show, be rapping on it. That shit's gonna be dope.
You know what we need to do?
Yes.
I need a hologram.
Yourself there?
Yeah, just right over there. I can perform in Nana's living room. Like, I'll talk as fucking
no, I'm sure. Yo, with this age of technology,
a projector or some shit like that.
We can figure it out.
I know there's a phone for that, but you gotta have 2 phones.
We can figure it out. We'll have 2 iPads. We'll Skype you there.
Yeah.
And we'll figure out the audio. I mean, the audio will be the easiest thing. Honestly, I think we just need video.
Put my phone or whatever.
What if we pre-record it and I just pull out a TV? You know how they used to do at school? You just pull in the
old school and everything.
Big TV. And I even got like an old lady helping me on the other side, but I'm really just helping her and we're just getting it out there.
Should we do like thanks to Lettuce,
Yeah. Pop
in the VHS.
And
J-Lot's profit.
And then I'll match up.
Fuzzy.
Okay, we could actually do this because at the beginning of the fucking thing, you could do a count in, and I'll count in on the mixer, so you could just be like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there on the cue. I'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then right at the same time you'll start your set.
Yeah.
And then you'll rap to, you know what I mean? We can figure it out.
That'd be cool shit. That'd be a cool way to do a music video too. You guys kind of jamming out, like you're on stage, whatever. You reel out the thing, just like that and everything. Yeah. You plug it in, it's kind of like me do the thing, and then it zooms in, then I'm actually on it.
Yeah,
I recorded twice, one for the VHS.
That's that shit. See, we're gonna fuck around with all that. We're gonna make a bunch of music videos. This is just the start. A couple more things I added. I put this on Facebook too. We're working on the Raw EP. Want to have that done by the end of the year. We got so many songs for this album.
No samples.
Yeah, the Raw EP is no samples, straight raw music made in the Spacement, and that's Tegan's studio down at his place.
I love that, man. That's tight.
Yeah, and that's where we make most of our music. That's where all this started, was in a fucking closet. Me and Gerard used to live together in Wheat Ridge, and that was one of the best living situations I ever had. That shit was dope. What else am I? Yeah, so we're doing that. I feel like there's a couple more things we were doing. Always working on shit. That's the whole thing. What were we? Okay, this is something we were talking about. I want you to break this down a little more for me, if you would. Yes. The difference between an artist and a creative.
Oh man,
Mr. Gerard.
I gotta have a blunt in hand for that one.
Okay,
have that?
So no. So we'll get. You're right, because I am wasting time. This is Blunt Raps, and on this fucking show, we smoke blunts. And we have blunt raps. Okay, so could you hand me a blunt? In the meantime,
I got Swisher Sweets Wild Rush or Zigzag Mango.
Zigzag Mango, I will go with that.
Bad.
You know what? No, let me go with the Swisher Sweets. If there's ever a choice between Swishers and a Zigzag, you gotta go with the Swisher. If you ever got a choice between the Swishers and the White Owls,
White Owls.
I mean, now this is really debatable. If you're fucking, any of my cousins would probably smack the shit out of me for trying to say that, because they'd be like, no, Swisher Sweets overall. But if you got the Backwoods, I think Backwoods trump all. Backwoods they're bitch though. Like, you gotta fucking roll them.
That was the issue that me and Dom had. We were trying to roll one. We gotta have one. It was great.
Yeah, you need a lot of weed too.
Yeah,
but you can't roll no any like a
fucking. The 6 things we have written a song called Backwood, and it was about smoky backwoods, and we're like, all right, well,
so now you got fucking, and then you guys had issues. That's the whole thing. Yeah, if you're backwoods smoking motherfucker, you gotta have a lot of weed.
What you're talking about.
Which we do. We have a lot of weed, but I'm kind of conservative. I like to spread my fucking weed out, so I always get kind of worried. I'm like, damn, we're just fucking rolling off fatty blunts. But that's why it's kind of more a special occasion for me. I'll get some backwoods and roll up fucking baseball.
The big old thing is shakewood goes real well with that too.
Yeah.
Mix in it, you know.
Fucking fatty backwoods. But if you get it rolled right, if you get it down, all right, you got to take that whole fucking leaf apart, make sure you don't have no rips in it, fill it up with a bunch of weed and roll it like half sideways. It takes a little bit, but once you get it down, you got a fatty, and that's always worth it. I want you to tell me while I roll this up, and then we'll talk about
artist and creative.
Yes, we'll talk about that. Tell me how you met King Kobe.
So the way I originally met Kobe was on Facebook.
And King Kobe is he started up Not Squad, but this is later.
Yes.
So y'all met on Facebook.
So me and him actually met up on Facebook. And through that was through some mutual Facebook pages. We're into psychedelic stuff, so we're kind of on certain pages.
All those sub pages.
There were so many sub pages. It was
Colorado,
like Reddit, but it ended up being it was acid math, Colorado raps, Arvada. Like it was extremely hyper specific.
So there was.
We've seen each other. We communicated before on the other pages, so there was some formality. As he posted the song, he remixed Mad World. Like Gary Jules kind of remix.
That one song that fucking
exactly. Faces, worn out places. Yeah, that jazz. So he had just released that, and I was like, oh man, like I also had some stuff cooking. Now his version, my version was different because I took the original version, stitched it up with this kind of heavy gangster almost version of it, slowed it down a lot, just made it sound, it was real crazy, and it was just like a real like me and a real like dark spot like pouring on my heart. His was like, oh yeah, it's a mad world, like graffiti on the fucking wall, like some crazy sort of shit.
Oh, okay.
But so was like, so I almost didn't, just because it was so different. I was
Yours
like,
was more intimate. Yeah.
I was like, you know what, fuck it, worst that can happen is nothing, you know what I mean? I was like, I need someone cool to work with. He's literally in my area. What's up? I already know he's there, you know what I mean?
Rad.
So I'm like, oh yeah, man, I fucking tell you, like, I did like it. It was a good mix. And I sent mine out too, just like, hey, you know, I also made one out, like, what'd you think? And he ended up listening to it, and he was like, yo, man, that shit was tight, we should meet up. Mm-hmm. So he came over, and then he was telling me about Knowledge Squad when he first kind of brought it to me.
Yeah.
So Knowledge Squad consists of him, obviously, he's the head, he's the fucking kingpin, man. He fucking holds down the ship. We have a producer over in Canada, and then another homie overseas too. So we're fucking worldwide. Which is awesome.
We're
worldwide, you know what I mean? We in 3 nations.
That's right.
And then it's myself, Kingpin Kobe, roommate, homie Des, and a good friend, Fader James, and Cosmos too, man. Cosmic Cam.
Yeah, Cosmos.
Brother man, he's in there.
And I've seen
Aaron
all these.
has Too Ill for Death has, helped with us a little bit. So it's really more of a collective.
I've seen all these dudes perform at Clancy's too, and like
every time they get a little bit better too, and I'm like, oh man, you're getting that sauce going on.
That's the whole thing, and that's why Clancy's was dope, and Dan the motherfucking man putting shows together, and we just gotta keep playing shows. That was hella dope. We were getting some, and then Microphone Rob came by.
He played dude,
and he spits like he's
like they have motherfucker, man. Like,
they have so many songs. We need to go. We're going down. That's something. Marcus is gonna hook it up. Amends. He's hooking that shit up. We're gonna go down, chill with him. Trying to get him on a track of the Blotter Bunches for next year. But so you met him there, and then
met him there, and it was cool because
he came and chilled.
He came out and chilled. And that was the real first music connection I had, other than you. You know what I mean? But that was cool for us though to have, because we we're friends before and then grew into it. But for him, it was like, fuck, now I'm intimidated because he's clearly been in the game for a while. And for at least like 10 years or whatever. Like at that point, probably longer, but. So we kicked it, had some freestyle stuff, and then next time came over, and that time I fought a motherfucker.
And the second time you met up,
So
what the fuck happened?
So some dude came up to the door. We have a fucking issue.
And this is when King Kobe is over there.
King Kobe's over here. We were working on some shit. We were taking like a small break, whatever. Actually. And we were like listening back to stuff, it's kind of bullshit and talking philosophies. He's, fuck capitalism. Like, man, I hate paying for taxes and bullshit. They don't fix my roads, but we're sticking it.
Some real shit.
And get a knock on the door, and it's this fucking sleaze guy, and dude answers it. One of our homies answers the door. He's like, "Yo, man, is your homie over?" And he's like, I don't know. Let me see where homie is. Like, what are you doing here? But all right, whatever.
Why? What was the deal with him?
Fuck this kid, man.
Fuck him. Okay, so it's a fucking unwanted motherfucker.
We've had issues before. Me and Dom have literally fought this kid before just because he's a sleaze bag. Like,
right. Y'all have had issues with him.
We just don't want him around. That's all it is. You know what I mean?
He comes knocking on the door looking for so-and-so up in your crib.
Looking for her friend who was crashing with us for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And even though we were like, we don't like them, we're like, all right, if you want to hang out with them, whatever, just don't bring them around, because there's trouble, and it's not our fault.
This is our crib, so
right. I got a homie over, like, who's new. So anyway, the door's closed, and we're telling homie that he needs to come up. A couple minutes goes by, he's banging on the fucking door again.
He starts banging on the fucking door.
So Death comes out and he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, yo, where the hell is so-and-so? He's like, he's coming, man. Like, we told you. Like, sorry, just give it a second. And the guy was like, can I come inside? He's like, no, you can't come inside. Give us a minute. He was like, well, whatever. And as Death goes to close the door, he goes like, man, fuck you. And Death is like, what the fuck, man? Come on, bro. Like, you got a fucking problem. I'm being courteous enough to the friends
go
dude.
Get him,
So other dudes like,
I could have told you to fuck off.
Right. So dude's getting all like huffity puffity with him, starts squaring up, and starts reaching like up under his shirt. So Death is like, fuck that, dude. Like, what the hell are you doing? He starts pushing him around. I start to hear the scuffle, so I'm like, I am so sorry. Give me 1 second to hop in that shit, grab that dude's back, so beat the fuck down, and throw that dude down.
Anything between fucking Dom, that's your brother right there, bro.
I fought that kid twice in the same kind of instant for I'll always fight for that.
That's ridiculous, bro. This is all in fucking. So this is the second
right there. And you know what we did after? Came in, door closed. I said, I apologize. We real up in here. It is what it is. It doesn't happen often, but we real. Sparked a blunt and we fucking freestyle the rest of the night. So it was tight, man. It was
So
so it was cool though because I instantly gained some street status because I don't have a lot.
Yeah.
So at least he was like, you know what? He's actually when he says he'll be done a motherfucker, I've seen it. He'll be done a motherfucker. So at least it's true, Well, so and after that, it was just kicked it and.
I mean, that's one of the cool things about starting, like, rapping, doing projects with homies and stuff, because we could really, like, get on some real shit. Like, you and me could talk about some real shit that we've been through. We used to be roommates. So me and this motherfucker used to live together. That's a whole other podcast. Honestly, we can't even go into fucking... That's we'll save that for another day. Good news, I got the motherfucking blunt rolled. This is... Huh?
This is blunt up.
This is Blunt Wraps, and this is where we smoke blunts. We're going to have a bunch of people on this fucking podcast. We did a test podcast, and it went great. I really like it. This is dope. We're both producers, so the audio is going to sound fucking amazing. I got it pulled up on Logic right here. It's all limited.
Cool beats happening.
Yeah, nothing's going to be all fucking loud. I'm going to compress it. You're going to be able to hear everything. It's going to be dope. We got fucking Ace chilling right there with the fucking bandana on. It's going to be a dope-ass podcast. We're going to do it here a lot. We're going to do it over
Shack.
Yeah, we at the Bazooka Shack right now. And we'll get a little more intimate with the podcast. We got Ashe up in here singing. Ashe is going to be on the podcast. And we're going to have Dan. Devil Be Merciful. We're going to have we're going to have as many guests as we can. Amends. We got a long
in here.
We got a long list of artist friends, local, Denver, Colorado, hip hop, gang, Poncho Gang. So I'm gonna spark this blunt up, and we're gonna start the crazy talk. All right, we're gonna get into the difference between artists.
We are.
We looking good?
Well, we're 30 minutes into it.
Already?
We're 32 minutes, 33 seconds when I look.
All right, we're gonna smoke this blunt until we run out of SD card space. We're gonna get a bigger SD card because we want to do. I mean, shit, we don't know. This could last 3 hours. We could be here fucking or something. We're gonna. But here, let me spark this up so we can get this going. So, Senor Gerard,
See,
my friend, the difference between an artist and a creative. Break it down for me real quick.
all right. So, basically for me is, and of course for me it's a broad sense, but there's not a couple exceptions, sure, but really for an artist, I feel like typically they have like a singular vision or singular passion that they're following through, and they'll have a drive, but it's not necessarily driving them to do other stuff.
And hold on, let me put a caveat in here right now. These are fucking personal definitions.
Yes.
Because so if you're sitting there thinking like, what the fuck? These are like this is
open conversation.
This is open conversation. So tell me, fucking an artist.
I think there's a difference between an artist and a creator. So, I mean, a creator, you're gonna take an idea and you're gonna build on that. Then you'll build on another idea and then change it up and then build onto that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like for instance, Chris Brown. Chris Brown is a fucking artist. Tyler the Creator. Tyler the Creator is a creator.
Okay.
I mean, creator is literally in his name, but I mean, in the sense that not only are both of them, music, public, relations, whatever. But Tyler the Creator has taken it to own TV show, clothing brand, magazine, stuff like that.
So arguably, because I'm going to be devil's advocate right here.
Sure,
arguably, because when I hear artists, and you say a creative keeps expanding on things, I would argue, as an artist, I don't necessarily paint or anything, but if a painter's sitting there painting something and you're like, an artist only focuses on one thing and a creative expands on other things, I'd be like, motherfucker, I do a bunch of shit. Like, I paint with oil, I paint with this, I paint with that. But what you're trying to say more so as an artist... It's
in a broader sense, more than honed into one thing.
Hold on.
So, you can be creative by using different brushes. And
so let me try to interpret this. So you're saying like an artist is more of like a specialty worker, like they specialize in one thing. An artist, like they're gonna hone in on the painting aspect. Sure, they might draw with different utensils, but they're gonna hone in on this one thing. What you're saying is a creative is gonna draw a picture because they like to draw, and they're gonna fucking do a painting. But then they're gonna be like, all right, let's take this painting and use it as an album cover for my rap album, and then
inspired by the painting.
and then inspire, and then fucking let's get the podcast going. Let's do this.
Exactly.
Let's meet up with King Kobe. Let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
So
For me to want to define someone as creative, you have to be able to want to expand your idea onto different platform and different ways of looking at it.
Be open-minded.
Okay, well, this is a painting, but what if it was a song? Whatever that makes you feel like, then you go through that. So I mean, they do go hand in hand.
Instead of because there's like the OCD type of specialists where they're like no, like I can't focus on any of that. I need to hone in on my specialty, whether it be because then there's a lot of good artists who work on music, but then you see them and you're like, fuck, they're like such brilliant artists, but they're not going anywhere because they don't know how to take that.
Or they'll only really do the music lane. Like Drake's an artist.
Yeah,
he's not a creative.
See, hold on.
And artist is that's a whole other discussion. But
and I don't necessarily like Drake or Chris Brown, but I think both of them argue
pop references.
I know, but I think we have to be fair here, and like in the years that they've expanded, maybe they did start out as artists, but like they have to be doing a little more. You don't think so? Hold on, this is a whole different discussion here. Hold on, we get into something else right here.
You ever hear about Drake directing a music video? OVO has a clothing brand, but I don't think he's drawing it up. He's got creatives on the other hand. He doesn't even write most of his own rhymes. Which, depending on who it is okay. Right. But so much of it has been discredited with him, and of course hip-hop is such a competitive sport.
No, I have heard like some is,
I'm just saying, don't say you're pulling up on a freestyle and the only thing you're pulling on is completely written stuff, like for the freestyle.
Ooh, shots fired.
I get something that you've written in before, you want to try it out real quick, and then it's a free release, whatever. I get that, you know what I mean? Especially if you're having a block, but to have someone else, right? If you wrote it, I can even see, but
I feel
maybe that's because I hold it so close. My art, that part to me, that's what I live for. It's my addiction. So
and there's some debatable room there. I mean, someone would debate, like James Maynard, James Maynard Keenan, the lead of, I hope I'm saying his name right, the lead singer of Tool. I think that's his name, James Maynard Keenan. He, he still does that. He opened up a vineyard, and he doesn't run it. He's not out in the field, but he delegates it. So I guess I think there's a little bit of arguing room that has to be said, because once you're that rich, like, sure, maybe you don't want to be doing like everything particularly. Maybe you do just want to be the nucleus in the middle, just like handling.
Well, you create a brand, and of course you want to protect
but
that.
I think
he is playing on a different level too, because he's looking for those Grammy nominations and wins. When you're trying to be Adele and Beyonce and those types of people who literally have people writing for them, and it's on a stigma.
What you did say,
so why shouldn't
what
he be
you did bring up is you compared him to Tyler the Creator, and I think what's obvious about what's obvious about Tyler the Creator, and what really makes him a creator, and I agree with you, is that you can actually you can see it.
You hear it from his voice. You know.
I think that's what it is right there. I think that's what it is right there. It's that you can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it. So fucking. But so okay, yeah. I think that's the main difference, is you can actually see it. I agree with you. Now, Tyler the Creator is an artist too, but
100%.
What we're saying is he's not honing in on one art form. That's the difference you're making. An artist, like, what are you an artist of? Oh, I do this, and that's all I do. I'm a specialty, artist in this. I'm an architect, and that's all I specialize in. Whereas you're saying a creative is like, yeah, I'm an architect, but then I also do like graphic design, and I also do this, and like this. That's like taking one thing, using all your skills to fucking.
Okay. Think about this in a play sense.
Yes.
If let's say I work in a leasing community, and everyone has their own jobs, their own districts. A good person would be, excited and driven by one particular thing, and that's why they're in that kind of position.
Yes.
But a great worker, someone who, is really there, not only are they wanting to do the leasing, but they're also going to learn about stuff about the maintenance and about customer care in their residence as well.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that little bit extra. No, you don't have to learn that stuff, but knowing that stuff, be able to take care of it yourself.
Well, hold on. So wait, what you're starting to talk about is a leader. That's what you're starting to talk about.
A little bit, but not so much.
Okay.
Bring it down from
Okay.
I mean, yes, that is what makes a leader as well. 100%.
You're right. Okay, you're right. That does make a leader as well. know, but not necessarily. Okay, yeah. So
as an example,
someone who just wants to learn all the positions he can. So that's somebody who wants to get
find something you like, and then branch out from there and trying to be,
wants to learn everything about the whole thing, not just one little specialty. And it wants to get someone like that wants to get a broader aspect on things. Someone like that wants to step back and see the picture for what it is, a bigger picture.
Okay, not only do I want to act in the scene, but I also want to help write a couple of jokes. Check out lighting, check out the cameras.
I want to learn how to direct, so eventually maybe I could.
And not even necessarily be like fully invested or good in it, but check it the fuck out and run with it, man.
Dude. Okay.
Even if it's just for yourself, like.
That's dope. That's rad. That is rad. I think that's a lot of problem that people have, and the people don't realize, even like maybe a singer that starts out and they just want to be a singer and they want to sing, they don't know that to be a singer they're gonna have to fucking learn how to be a manager. They're gonna have to learn how to be a fucking teammate, this and or
at the very least you should, because otherwise you know how many times, and it breaks my heart too, people they have a broken following and they're young and they don't quite know what's happening, so they get wrapped into it, and maybe they don't have someone to tell them better, you know what I mean? Which is pretty much anyone young going into the industry. If you don't have some sort of game plan or some background knowledge about what you're actually walking into, you're gonna get taken advantage.
Well, okay, maybe not even
Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
He got fucked over in the end. You know what I mean? Stuff like that all the time.
He still has to.
He's still touring. He just won rights, and he's like my mom's age almost at this point. You know what I mean? He was hired when he was like 14, 13, something like that. He shot himself before, like. So, you know what I mean? So stuff like that.
Okay, for what's his name?
Birdman.
Birdman. That shit's real,
bro.
Yo, that shit's real, and I like Lil Wayne. I'm not necessarily a diehard fan. There was a whole period
I'm
where
excited for the 5 to come out though. I'm nervous because of all the fucking hype. I don't know if people are gonna necessarily react to it as the fucking hype has driven up the Carter 5.
Is that going to be all him?
Yeah, I don't know.
All his rights?
I don't. Yeah, it's all him. So
that's all his rights. Like he has rights, and that's his first release.
I don't know as far as like the legalities of it, but I know that he settled the shit with Birdman, won a bunch of money, free of everything. Carter 5 was dropping, so I'm not sure if the Carter 5 is under him completely or still under Birdman, or how that.
I would
legally
be hella excited about that. I mean, especially. I want to hear it,
and I'm super excited.
Especially if it's all him. I went through a whole phase.
That pharmaceutical guy had released his rights too, so he lost his stocks in it.
Shkreli?
Yeah, he had Carter 5 shit.
Really? That's sort of.
And Wu-Tang.
Yeah, that shit. I don't know.
Anyway, but yeah. So I'm not sure where all the money for that one is going, but it's fucking dropping. He's free. He's got all this money.
I'm excited about that. I went through a whole period where I really didn't like Lil Wayne. And
when I was first really getting into hip hop, I didn't like him. But it was only because I really heard the extremely poppy shit. I don't like poppy shit, man. Especially on the radio when everything's edited. I like to hear the curse words. Yeah, you're able to say what you mean when you hear it. But, and so I was really coming into it from I wasn't allowed to listen to that stuff before. Then everything changed in my life, and I was suddenly able to listen to everything, and now expected to secretly listen to everything. At first I wasn't feeling to be something poppy shit, but I started hearing deeper shit, and I was like, ooh, I like this. And then I really started getting into poetry. He would come on occasionally and I'd hear those real rhyme schemes and everything, and his punchlines, he's fire, man. So it's just that next step. So once I got saw that, I kind of fell in love with the nice, I kind of like Lil Wayne.
Yeah,
but
I'm ready.
Then I had to fall out and then kind of got back into it. And there's a lot of artists like that, though. I think most good artists will have a falling in and out of love with.
I haven't been excited about really stuff that he's come out with or been hoping, but just hearing that story and just hearing that he has rights, that he won, this battle, that he really, since he was at such a young age, has been, just part of this group, kind of expected to fucking just put, they kind of milked him
started getting money too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I kind of am. I'm excited to hear that. Actually, I am excited to hear that. We're getting down to the end of the blunt, and we're gonna wrap it up here because we've already done more than 30 minutes. Check if it's still rolling.
It's still rolling. We got 45 and 09.
We good. Damn, that's good. We want to try to do hours. Really, we
gotta get save 10 minutes. We can kick it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do it. We'll just keep going. But I kind of want to just get. Fucking, we're getting down to the end of the blunt.
Bookmark it here, so everything else will be extra.
Yeah.
That was bullshit. Alright, should we sign off?
Huh?
Should we sign off?
No, let's kick it. We still got a little bit of the blunt.
Okay. I am bookmarking it though.
Okay, word. It's still recording?
Hell yes.
Check it out. Fucking, we want to try to just put content out there. I mean, we'll make fucking 3-hour podcasts. You guys don't have to watch it if you don't want to. This is all going to be on the Blotter Bunch channel on YouTube. Really, this is just a creative area. I like to come over here. We like to smoke blunts, talk about shit, talk about music that just came out. Okay, that's something I want to talk about. All right, hopefully, we get this recorded. PandaSayWhat. We went on motherfucking Friday night. Was it Friday? We went on Friday and saw PandaSayWhat at Ophelia's, and that shit was dope. That shit was fire. All right, I didn't even know Ophelia's was down there. I thought Ophelia's was the art gallery next door. We went up there. I thought it was like, he's gonna play.
That was a nice looking space too, though. But the problem was they had the overhead sign had the sign to the Ophelia's. But the door itself had the actual art space name, but the door was open. So he's kind of like, oh yeah.
It was just kind of walking. And we were super doted too.
But the dude totally was like, oh yeah, it's next door. He obviously had that a lot. So we weren't the only ones.
In Ophelia's, you go down to the basement. There's a whole dance floor area. It's super dope. PandaSayWhat was dropping his new EP, I believe that he just released, and that shit was. I mean, it was definitely or a bunch of his new shit. He dropped some Pretty Light songs. That shit was fire. And we got some drinks there that were hella expensive, but they were some crazy mixed drinks that they had there, and that was dope. He brought out Impossible. She sang, and that was dope. He brought out his trumpet. He was playing on his trumpet. I hope that was the instrument. That's what it looked like, but I'm bad at instruments. But he was jamming on fucking his trumpet. Impossible was singing. She came up twice. She was dope. He brought out a hip-hop dude. He rapped a little on his beat, too. His whole set was fire. Afterwards, Chewy Bach came out. Their shit was dope, too. Cool. We saw, their beginning set, but we already spent a little too much money there, so we went next door and drank more at Scruffy Murphy's downtown. That shit was fire. Yes. But yeah, PandaSayWhat.
Definitely a good spot.
I'm definitely catching him again. That set was fire. And I've seen him play before. His shit was dope. I like his style. Chewy and Bach were releasing new music that night too. Definitely catching those guys when they come through town again. I think that's all we want to talk about. We are going to wrap it up. We're down to the end of the blunt. I'm starting to get super doted. And we'll probably roll up another blunt after this, but we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you for checking out fucking Blunt Raps. First episode, first edition. Jay's gonna think about starting his own podcast, and he can use all this for his first episodes too, so stay tuned for whatever he comes out with. Of course, music is gonna be starting right now, because we're both fucking producers, so all this is gonna end and start with dope ass music. Till fucking next time, try to do one a week. Thank you. Peace out.
The Blotter Bunch all live in one fucked up house, and there ain't nothing in the fridge but some sauerkraut. And we got some gasoline, but good lord, it's foul. If you wanna catch a lift, come here and snort this now. I do.